So our next speaker, her name is Sherisse. Her first professional job, and I had to read it twice because the word professional is really important. Her first professional job was as a Disney Imagineer, right? Like for real, she made rides and roller coasters, designed them. And that's pretty awesome. I'm like, my first job was at a dry cleaner's. She also does aerial dancing. She's pretty excited about that. She said, I asked about near-death experiences. She said, I do aerial dancing, and has done something called a 360 fall on the silks. I don't know what that means. So obviously, I'm going to pick up aerial dancing, and you guys can hear about it the next talk, because I am a graceful swan. Yeah. But back to Sherisse. She is fantastic and lovely, and when I saw the title of her talk, I was like, oh shit. But now it's, oh shit, because it's really good. This is a horrible intro. All righty, give a big round of applause for Sherisse.
I'm here to introduce you to a very wise and influential person. In the 94 years that she lived, she saw a great deal of change in the world, and she was a part of a fair amount of it. So I dedicate this spark to my grandmother. She was fond of giving advice, as grandmothers are prone to do, saying things like, if you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything at all. And it was only years later that I realized that that phrase could really be attributed to someone else. It's Thumper the Rabbit from Bambi. But you take good advice wherever you can get it, even if it's from a very smart bunny. So there's another one that she would tell us that you're probably familiar with. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Right? Remember that one? The playground altercations you come back from and you hear that. However, as an adult, I'm here to tell you that I wholeheartedly disagree. Why? Because words have power. Words have power to influence and educate, to inspire, to ignite, to help people, but they can also harm. So what happens when you're in that uncomfortable situation where words are being used in this way, or things are being said that you don't really agree with? But before we go there, I want you to imagine a world where Vulcans are actually here with us on Earth. And you have the benefit of being best friends with none other than Mr. Spock. Yeah. So you and Mr. Spock are good friends. He's fantastic on your Geeks Who Drink team. The only thing that you kind of don't like is that he will always, forevermore, beat you at chess. He's just the master, right? So, but you're in a situation where people are talking about Vulcans. Have you seen their ears? I heard Mr. Spock is a half-breed, or all Vulcans are so intelligent. And you're kind of taken aback. You're not sure what to do. You are best friends with him, after all. So maybe the best thing is to just remain silent. Not say anything at all, don't laugh at the jokes, right? I'm here to say, I don't think that's the best option. Because silence at best is ambiguous, and at worst, people think that you agree with them. And it reminds you that often the characteristics that we point our fingers at or criticize are things that people can't change. The amount of melanin in their skin, the chromosomes that they have, who they find attractive, or even the shape of their ears. As my grandmother would say, when you point one finger at someone else, you're actually pointing 3 fingers back at yourself. So I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened to me recently. Don't worry, it turns out well. I was in a social situation and I said something that wasn't really part of my core belief, and in fact it actually perpetuated a negative stereotype. You know, I'm not perfect, and it happened. But it all ended up well because something very positive happened out of that experience. Someone standing near me offered some advice. They said, let's just throw that one out. And those 5 words made such a difference. It was like having someone reach out and give you a hand when you've tripped and fallen. It wasn't an accusation, there was no anger, there was just really useful intent. And they didn't offer any words like you should or shouldn't or I or always or never. None of those terms came to bear. It was just, let's throw that one out. So I thought about that, and I decided to talk about it tonight. And I'm here to ask you, to think about what words you would like to throw out. What things do you think we should be able to eliminate from the words that we propagate? Now, words live and die. One of my favorite newer words is BOGO, especially when it is associated with a shoe sale. And there's other words like thou that we don't use much anymore. I would dare say it is actually obsolete, and there's a graph to show you about that. So I want you to think about a word or a phrase that you don't think is doing any of us any good. And I want you to imagine that word on this box of expired food. Because we don't want to serve or share expired food. It's bad, it's unhealthy for everyone. So imagine the word that you'd like to get rid of. And then when that comes into being in social situations, you can remember that it's just time to throw that one out. So by making that commitment, all of us can be the change. And 94 years from now, our children and our grandchildren will thank us for throwing out things that don't serve us any longer. We can make that positive change. I implore you to try that out. And I thank you for listening tonight.